Hello everyone, welcome back to my plant channel. Today I'm talking about plants I can never see myself getting. I may have had a few in my collection at one point, or some of them I just know that I don't want. But with that being said, I will get right into the video. But actually, without that being said, if I can't speak today, if any of my plants on this list are ones that you enjoy and like, please take it with a grain of salt. This is just my opinion. And if you agree or disagree, please tell me why in the comments down below. But let's keep it, friendly. This is by no means attack to anyone and their opinion. This is just my personal opinion, and I will try my best to give reasons why, but some of them are just preference, and I'm really weird. So like I love plants that are like green, but one of my favorite plants is my philodendron micans, which is like red. It's like a dark reddish, so I don't know. But anyways, with that being said, I will get into the video now. So, off the bat, the first plant I will never be getting in my collection is Alocasia. The plants that I've seen Alocasia-wise, very pretty. I've had Alocasia in my collection before, specifically just the Alocasia poly. And I have decided that they are not for me. When I first got into plants, I was kind of buying everything, all different kinds of varieties, and I never, I just wanted more plants. I didn't have a personal preference, and I've realized my personal preference is like aroids, ones where you can just snip the stem, make one plant, stuff like that. I like ones you can propagate easily, and I like ones where, it's understandable, leaves die off a lot, it's just a thing, but in general, Alocasia, it's really hard to get them to have lots of leaves. They don't, each plant can only sustain so many leaves, and when it puts out a new one, one dies typically. And that's really upsetting because you don't really see progress with your plant then. But yeah, just for me, I really like the ones you can propagate because like I said, I eventually want to kind of sell plants here and there, and it's really difficult to do that with, Alocasia. And, the humidity. They need humidity, and they're spider mite magnets. I don't really want to welcome more plants into my collection that will attract bugs when it's not really a plant that will be benefiting me anyway. And I'm not changing my living conditions for a plant. So, if the humidity is lacking, that's really not my problem. That's the plant's problem. And in wintertime, I live in Wisconsin, we get the seasons, and I know every Alocasia that I had 2 different Alocasia polys, and as soon as it started getting colder outside and the furnace was running, it probably got too dry, and they just perished. And I was like, well, rest in peace. Bye-bye. Next up is Anthurium. And I've seen a lot of people who said they're like the easier sister of Alocasia, but I don't have humidity, like I said. I'm not getting a humidifier because I get sinus headaches from humidity, so I'm not putting myself in a situation where I'm not going to be feeling good just for my plants. Now, if I ever got a greenhouse or a greenhouse cabinet, maybe I'd consider it, but probably not. Like I said, I want to save my space for plants that will be benefiting me, and Anthurium and Alocasia are very similar in the way that you can't propagate them. You can't just, cut up the stem and make more, They're very beautiful. I really like the leaves, but I just don't like the growth pattern. That's the main thing for me. And I can't remember if there's another plant that is similar to Alocasia or Anthurium, but if there is, I won't be getting that one either. I will not be getting any genuses that are like Alocasia or Anthurium. The next one in my collection is Calathea. I had a rattlesnake Calathea. It was very beautiful, but humidity, and I just didn't understand the plant well enough. It's hard to tell when it needs water, it's hard to tell when it has too much water, and once again, it's the growth pattern mostly. I like the vining aroids, you can just cut at the stem, make more. Whereas the calatheas, they kind of typically, well, at least the rattlesnake calathea, it would put out more leaves, and I'm just not a fan of that. Next up on my list will be cactus. I have a few cactus in my collection, and I am quite happy with the cactus in my collection. I just don't, like, I like them, I think they're very pretty, but I've developed my taste in plants and they just don't have the growth pattern I'm looking for. Also, they hurt me. It's really hard to repot them. So that's the main reason why, and they have very high demands, so they need to be really close to light and stuff, and when I have plants, you know, I would rather the cactus be kind of far away from the lights or just, you know, chilling, but that's not what they need, so they're kind of taking up prime real estate on my shelf right now to survive. Alongside cactus would be succulent plants. And now when I say succulent plants, I don't mean, you know, every single one. I mean the ones that are like chicks and hen shapes, you know, the little kind of ball ones and stuff. Those are so difficult to keep alive. I know string of hearts, string of spades, string of pearls, those are all kind of like, and like the string of bananas, those are all kind of on the list of succulents, and I would get more stringing plants. It's just the pearls, bananas, dolphins, all those get mealybugs so easily. So I probably won't for that reason, but we'll see, because I really miss my string of dolphins that I had. But I love like string of spades. I have all the different varieties of string of hearts, I think it's just the Silver Glory, string of hearts, regular, and variegated. If there are more, please let me know, because I will be getting that one. And then I have string of spades, I want string of needles. So I know a lot of people consider those succulents, and that's not what I mean. I just mean the ones where it's like burro's tail, stuff like that. And burro's tail, very pretty, but it's like I said, I just don't understand them. Those are so hard to understand, and they grow super slowly in my experience, and then they die. And I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I put that effort into keeping this plant alive for nothing. So, yeah. Next up on my list is ferns. I just don't really like them in general. The growth pattern, their needs for humidity. I did like my rabbit's foot fern that I used to have, but too difficult to understand. They needed too much humidity. I couldn't do it for it, you know? I was like, well, sorry. Very cute plants though, but just not for me. Next up on my list is croton. I had a bunch of crotons in my past. Crotons? One or the other. You know, the ones that grow, they're sold at pretty much every big box store as like really easy plants to keep alive. Wrong. They're not. They hate their life. You buy them, they die. Except not mine. I used to have a bunch of crotons that I kept alive, but they just weren't my favorite plants. Like I said, when I first got into plants, I just bought a lot of plants without knowing anything and was super pumped to just have more plants. But then as the years went on, I started neglecting my crotons because they weren't the plants that I really, really liked. But I felt obligated to keep them alive because I had them for so long. But once we moved, I was like, alright, we're done. I can't do this anymore, and I gave them away or something. And after that, I will not be getting any more crotons, because they're just not the growth pattern I enjoy. Next up is oxalis. I don't like any plants that have a dormancy period. Like, hello, I'm here trying to keep you alive. Why do you have to die and go away for a while only to start from scratch? Like, what the heck? So I'm just not dealing with that. And I do appreciate oxalis, and actually when I was first getting into plants, like I said, they were one of my wish list plants. Jenna Marbles had a lot of influence on what was on my wish list because those were the only plants I knew before I did more research. So I was like, ooh, oxalis, that's really cool how they like open and close. That's awesome, but no, they're not for me. And then last but not least is caladium. I know a lot of people like them. I just, like I said, don't want any plants that have a dormancy period. Like, I'm working hard to keep you alive. I need the same effort from you, okay? The feeling needs to be mutual. And I don't really like super aggressively colorful leaves either. So it just doesn't make sense, like, to have them if they're not even, like, the style that I enjoy. But yeah, that's the end of my list, I think. I know I was super generalizing with all of them. I didn't say specific plants, I just said mostly genuses. But that's because, offhand, like, that would be a lot of, like, plants. And for the most part, I kind of stick with the stuff I like. So, philodendron. I can't really think of a philodendron I wouldn't get, except for maybe Pink Princess. And with, like, pothos, can't really think of anything. Same with Hoya. There are a few I probably won't get, like, the compacta varieties, just because I'm afraid of pests. But, you know, it's not because I dislike the plant. It's for practicality reasons. But yeah, so that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!